What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another player interview. This time I'm joined by by none other than Danny Wynn. What's going on, Danny?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, me and Danny met this past weekend, and it was super awesome to meet him. He's just super cool guy, even better player. So I'm super stoked to have him on for a player interview about the Hercule deck. He was one of the premier pilots of the deck this weekend. It led him to some success. How'd you do this weekend, Danny, at the AC Regional?
So Saturday I got 8th, ended 5-0-3.
Yeah, with those weird time rules, it's a weird record to hear, but you still get a pretty good number of points, especially with the draws counting as one. But with the nature of the deck, especially if you play mirror matches and other slow matchups, it's gonna happen. But yeah, so I mean, you were one of the main people that really playtested the deck and got it to where it needed to be, right?
Yeah.
So it was like you, Chris Welch, Pat O'Neill. Was anyone else kind of on that dev team?
Matt, Richard Zapp, Ryan helped a little bit, but that was pretty much the main group that everyone was talking a lot.
For sure, yeah, the main group tank. Yeah, I mean, we saw V1s of this deck, like first version, second versions, third versions, and it was really weird at the first glance. Not gonna lie, like there was like foreseeing hit in there, but you never really wanted to charge red because it made button bad, and there's only 2 button, and I playtested the deck at 2 button, and I was like, yo, I kind of want 4 button in here. So like,
oh yeah, it was like the whole time when we were testing, it was like you just wanted more and more buttons. You're like, oh, I need more. I want another one.
Absolutely.
So 4.
Yeah, so I mean, we have the main deck here, and this is the first deck that like made me believe in like one-of cards. Like in this game, I've never been a believer of one-ofs, but like the way this deck draws so much and the way this deck can turn any card into basically an unbreakable is pretty solid. So definitely a believer in that now. So with like just some different decisions that I made, what I didn't end up playing the Overseeing Time. So what did that really contribute to the deck for you?
So it was like the Power of Seeing Time was like probably one of the last additions to the deck. After this base version, it came down to like the Overrealms, and then it ended up how it works was me and Pat, we were playtesting because we realized this last week, that was the week that we were like, all right, people are gonna be playing Hercule. We have to playtest it now. Before it showed up in Atlanta, we were like, all right, this is easy. Most people are just gonna like think this deck is garbage, or they're gonna have bad builds of Hercule. So we really didn't. We were like, this is gonna be easy. We have the best build, and then we were testing it for this past week, and we were realizing like this mirror match is insane. Like it's crazy. And just trying to figure out cards, like we were thinking about more one-ofs. We were realizing, starting slowly, that one-ofs is great, and you want late game finishers. Like that was most of our time testing, was figuring out late game finishers, because you play the awkward situation, test of strength, that's early game.
Yep.
Like it carries you really well, but you have to have something to like just seal the deal in the end after getting massive hand advantage. And Trunks' Power Overseeing Time just like worked everything together. It was Matt Coombs' idea. He was just like, when you just play Power Overseeing Time, you don't deck out quicker. Like Scientist Fu, you deck out quicker.
Yep, right.
Power Overseeing Time, you don't deck out quicker. You get Test of Strengths or awkward situations back, and while you're playing one-ofs, you can get the Overrealm one-ofs back and play them again.
Yeah, so absolutely. The Overseeing Time definitely provides like a cool win con, I guess, if that's what it's being used for. It makes a lot of sense actually, because you just like go back to the warp, grab a super combo, and just like pump it in for that finishing double strike. It makes a lot of sense. And like I noticed that too. Like if I couldn't hit my Demigrat win con, it was like, well, I have all these cards in hand, I can't kill my opponent because I don't have anything threatening, and I'm just gonna deck out.
Yeah.
So I totally know what you mean by that. All right. So what were you gonna say?
Yeah. Why did you decide to take it out?
So I didn't play it because like I didn't give it that thought in that same thought process. Like I see it,
yeah,
and I kind of did see it at that point, but it kind of conflicted with me for the Beyond Darkness Demigras, because it was like a really good general overrun play that I never wanted to make because of Demigras, and I wanted more Mass Sand in the main deck, so I basically cut the Overseeing Time for the second Mass Sand, because I thought it would be just a little bit more useful for like the announcer matchups and for like the little one drop rush matchups and like and Storm and stuff like that. So that was basically one of the small changes I made. So then we have the Announcer Play-by-Play Pro. This is like one of the most versatile cards in the deck. It's the only negate attacks. We decided all on not playing any Weeses or anything like that between the main and sideboard. But there's some matchups where you actually want to just turbo this thing on offense to draw cards. So can you speak on that a little bit? Like what matchups you prioritize this as a negate, and what matchups you prioritize this to just turbo through your deck?
Yeah, obviously you and I, when we played a mirror match, we were just the mirror match. You're just digging. First one to Demigor wins.
Exactly. Yeah, and you got to set up those black 1-drops to get them to graveyard. Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things that I wanted to mention about Power Over Seeing Time that actually came up for me was it's a 0-5K black card. Yeah, so like you obviously played the matchup too, and you were like, I guarantee you're like on your turn 4 you're passing, and then you're most of the time on some matchups you're like, oh, they're gonna hit me, I'm gonna Xenobun and I'm gonna combo away these 110k black cards to feed it to get the 7,
or you're hoping at least.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, every time I've planned it that way, it worked out like that.
Yeah, right.
But because one thing, a lot of people didn't see the secret rare coming,
right?
But yeah, the Trunks Power Over Seeing Time, that I actually used it as a 0. I was like so grateful so many times that it was a 0-5K, because for one thing, when you go on your turn 5, and say you have 6 black cards, and like one of them's like a 110k in your hand, you're like, you have to do a 110k and then a bean play so you can do the Demigod. That's like, it's really really hard sometimes. So the Power Over Seeing Time is really great for the 0-5 part. Just like the announcers, they're all 0-5, so it's easy.
Absolutely.
To pile them up.
I totally agree with you. Actually, that's why in my day 2 deck list, I actually just removed Science's Fu completely, and I put in the 4th Announcer Ever Curious, because I wanted more like 5k black cards, and I also just wanted to turbo through my deck more so I can get to Demigraw faster. But then that leads me to my next question. How did you feel about Science's Fu all weekend? Because for me, really, it kind of just underperformed.
Yeah, we had this short discussion about it with Pat and stuff, and Pat was agreeing with you too. Scientist Fu wasn't as good, but for me, it actually, I can definitely see like at times it was bad for you guys. But what I really liked about Scientist Fu the most is 25k.
Right.
Like, I almost felt bad sometimes playing a Mass Saiyan at like certain times because it's 20k, but like the 25k, I just feel like I'm able to hit them way harder with the Scientist Fu. And say you're swinging into a battle card, that's one less card you get the combo. Say if you want to actually, you're like, oh, I really want this dead.
Yep.
25, you can kill it better,
For sure, especially if you're swinging at a Vegito. That's luckily I never had to face a Vegito deck. I know you had to face 1 or 2 Vegito decks, and that ended a little weirdly for you. But that was one of the things I was going into this deck like, oh, I guess we can't really answer that super duper well. I mean, outside of our overrealms. But yeah, Scientist Fu does help you answer Vegito for sure. And then, if I recall correctly, you weren't super duper crazy about the Shrouded, right?
Yes, I didn't play Shrouded a single time. Saturday.
Yeah, it's a weird card.
Yeah, there's probably one time I could have played it, but I played the Secret Rare instead. Yeah. It was either Fu Shrouded or the Secret Rare, and I chose the Secret Rare. I didn't, in that situation, it did not matter. Like, I could have played both and they would have won.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, I think in most cases the Secret Rare, the Demigraw is gonna be better. Just in most cases, I think the only instance that Fu is better is if like your opponent's a 2 life, and like they don't have like. Sometimes they're a 2 life, it just says I win. But Demigraw realistically does the same thing. Maybe it just takes an extra turn of them just not being able to do anything. But I totally agree with that. Yeah,
but the Fu Shroud, if it's like, say they're tapped out, I don't know. The mirror match is like, the way I've seen it develop lately, it's really, really weird. And turn 5, turn 6 is like pretty much the end game. I've barely gone to turn 7 in the mirror match, actually.
Right, because at that point, if someone could drop a Demigraw, it becomes over very fast.
Yeah, it's pretty unlikely. You literally have to top deck your own Demigraw, or top deck into like awkward situation back, or like an overwhelm, like a dimensional banisher Fu, which is in the side deck anyways.
Yeah, or a mirror creator. Yeah, and sometimes you're hoping like, okay, I know they're gonna drop the demigod first. I really hope that my demigod's on top of my deck and not in my hand right now, because you're just like,
Yeah,
I want to rip into it and just kill them with it. Oh man, it's really hard to outplay getting the demigod dropped on you.
Yeah.
So for Button, so when someone first told you that Button was going to be the next broken card, like in this deck, like did your eyes just like open up, or did you just like say like, don't say that to me, that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard? Like what did you think about it when someone first told you that Button was going to be nuts?
I've played with Button before a few times, and
Oh, okay.
so Tradix, like the 2 weeks before that, when everyone was testing the Hercule, or 3 weeks almost before the event, Welch was trying to tell everyone, like he literally every single time he came in Discord, he's like, dude, this card.
This card right here.
He's like, yeah, this card. Like we literally, I swear there was hours upon hours where we would sit there in shenronslair.com with the card list opened up in every single color. We literally looked at every single card that we possibly could.
Yeah.
And he was constantly like, oh, let's do this. And Matt and Pat, they put him off for a while. Like here and there, they're like, go away. Stop with the Hercule. And yeah, I pretty much, I saw it and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I sat there with him, for hours, and the Button was like, at first we didn't realize how amazing Button was, obviously, because you saw the first iterations. It was 2 buttons,
Yep.
And it slowly went up to 3. But you realize playing the deck, Button is insane.
Oh, it's so nuts, dude. And actually, what I mentioned this in my profile for my own like Top Cut video. Like, Button, it's a busted card. Like, it's really really good, but there's actual counterplay to it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Like Battering Laser is counterplay to Zeno Button, where like SS3 had no counterplay. So I think that's actually really cool and pretty healthy for the game. So I am a big fan of that.
Yeah.
And then 3 Awakening Talent Pan. So in my day 2 deck, my deck for the Sunday Regional, I actually bumped Pan up to 4 and just cut the at all cost Vegeta, because at all cost really just underperformed for me, and Pan was just so important in the mirror, and so important in like the slow matchups. So what do you think about that? Like, how did at all cost perform for you, and do you think you cut it for a 4th Pan?
Yeah. So you saw Pat's deck when we did it, the other profile, and
Yeah.
He definitely made a really good point that I didn't realize until like way later, that how good at all costs actually is. Where you're going in, say, your opponent's at 5, 6 life, whatever, any number below 7. Most of the time you could ping them down. They'll normally take it to like 5 or 6, and then you go in with at all costs. It's insane because you self-awaken yourself, and you can knock them down to an unfavorable life number, like 3 or 2. So I think he had the right idea with that, actually. But I know what you mean with the Pan. Like, you're just like praying to draw Pan a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Pan early game is so key.
100%. Yeah, I was able to win a lot of games this weekend just because I was able to see Pan more than my opponent, and like they got stalled out. And then that brings up another question, which like me and you have actually talked about a pretty decent amount. The play style that comes into play with this deck. All of our lists were very very similar, minus like 1 or 2 cards, but a lot of our play styles are very different. So one thing that you did to me that I never did to you was, before either of us were awakened, I would never swing at you with my leader just to cycle cards. And that was because I didn't want you to awaken first, right? Because I wanted to awaken first, or at least on the same time as you, so I wouldn't be behind in card advantage, and I could see Demigod potentially sooner. So what do you think about that now after like experiencing the weekend? Like, do you think that was a good line of play, or do you think that you still need to just swing the leader and cycle through cards?
Yeah, that game 1 we had, I was like, wow, I'm pretty screwed. Like I knew from like right from the beginning, like, just because you want the dice roll, and obviously you're gonna play your Demigod first, and we both drew like pretty well. I drew like perfect, obviously, but it didn't matter because I'm a turn behind,
right?
An energy behind you, so like it probably didn't matter in hindsight, but like Uh, yeah, I just felt like it didn't matter in that situation. I'm not sure how I could have gotten out of that scenario. Like, my plan at one point was to mass sand you, and you just, you know, you did the right play.
Combo
you
away
just
all the
combo
one drops.
all 5, whatever, you're like, screw it. And because you knew I was gonna self awaken the next turn with the pan, obviously.
Right.
I'm pretty sure at that point. So yeah, it's a hard decision. I guess you can adjust. It's also in that scenario, I wanted to see more cards and just maybe find an out somehow.
Yeah.
Like, also one of my thought processes during our game one was like, I was like, if maybe I'll just go aggressive and just try to see as many cards as fast as possible. You know, screw slow awakening. I just want to awaken as fast as possible.
Right.
Maybe I can have such a large hand that your Demigirl can't do anything.
Yep.
And that was like pretty much the only out I really feel at that point.
Yeah, I feel like when you go second and you're afraid of the Demigirl, you need to like just keep as many answers to Demigirl in your hand as possible. So this way they can't really remove all of them. That's like at least the hope. But I mean, I want to see like 2 or 3 pans, like if I'm going up against the mirror match, just to awaken early. And if you give me something to swing at in rest mode with a pan like that, I don't have to give you a life. And if I can potentially stall you out, like I think that's a really advantageous position. I think it's actually a really advantageous position to be in going second as well, because like if you can find your opponent in a situation where they can't awaken themselves, then it's actually really, really hard for them to see Demigirl and to see all the overrealm fuel for the graveyard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at that point you had a good start too. You saw a lot of the announcers, so
yep, absolutely.
There's like no way you weren't like gonna see your Demigirl. No way you weren't gonna see your pan. So
yeah. It kind of sucks that the Demigirl is like just an auto win on the drop. Like, But if that card didn't exist, like game 1 would never end. So
yeah, exactly.
It kind of needs to be a thing.
Yeah, Food Shroud would become much better. The secret rare probably wouldn't be as good, but yeah, we actually discussed this before the secret rare.
The World Tournament one.
Yeah, we were like, so going first, Food Shroud is better. Going second, Goku Oob is better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you want to Goku Oob someone's Goku Oob back into the deck.
Or secret rare. Sorry. So like you go second.
You
go second. You get 6 energy. They would charge 6, and then you charge 6, and you play it first technically.
Right. Absolutely. So then last card in the main deck I want to talk about. How did you feel about Double Shot Vegeta? A lot of people I know thought it was the weakest card in the deck. I don't know if I'd necessarily agree. I thought Scientist Food was the weakest card in the deck. But what do you think?
So, I never actually thought about the weakest card in the deck. I actually liked a Double Shot a lot because, of course, there's argument for that. It's not good. You can definitely just see how it's just not good. But I saw as, for one, I played a lot of Chain Zeno decks, and Double Shot is insane in that matchup, honestly, because
100%.
it's a reusable 110k, and red hits you the hardest. Like they hit the hardest, like the highest numbers, like easily. For one, like pan, 25, 30k easy.
Yeah.
Like they could easily get to that number, and a lot of the times they're not attacking your double shots, because if they can hit your life, if they can force you to awaken and then Chain Zeno, you're screwed.
Yep.
So it's advantageous in many scenarios for them to just ignore your battle cards, because for one, they could play defensive and just hit you down. Like I said, Chain Zeno. So you just like throw out double shots like crazy, and they Chain Zeno, you draw double shots. It happens to me all the time. Like I just draw double shots, like, and I recover so well because they swing in. They always swing in with their leader, with their Zeno, and you just double shot, and you easily turn it around the turn after.
Absolutely, yeah. I use it for the same exact scenarios. Like I didn't play against any pan here Zeno, but I played against a couple hero Zenos all weekend, and it was the same idea. So they'd swing at me with their leader to try and force me to take damage, but I combo with a double shot, and then I could actually make them take damage the next turn.
Exactly.
And make their Chain Zeno less valuable.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the, like I said, I kind of played the deck. Just playing the Chain Zeno matchup is just so obnoxious, really. Like, it is the most annoying thing, especially if the player knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're protecting their life while like hitting you and just not caring about your battle cards. And you're just having the worst time because you have to play around so many things, you know, the whole time.
I actually felt very, very safe against Hero Zeno and very, very safe against Cell Chain, just because I always found myself in a predicament where I could stall the Awaken as long as I needed to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just drew the nuts or what, but I never felt too pressured.
Yeah. No, I did well. I beat several Red Blues.
Right.
One of my matches, I played against Samuel Martinez. He got third, and he's playing Red Blue Harudegarn. He got third Saturday, and game one, he like completely like I fell behind the entire time because I'm pretty sure he went first, and he just for seeing hit me at the perfect time where he ripped both my tested strengths out and proceeded to gain like massive advantage against me, and like he was like I still was able to awaken after he changed Zeno, you know, because you just try your best not to awaken.
Yep.
Yeah, you do whatever you can, you know, even if you're super low in can size, you have to. And even then, he still was able to, like, I don't know how he like navigated the matchup in that way. Like there's several times that happened. I've seen, you know, it's a lot of red blue players are really bad. And it's just like easy win. Like I had so many free wins because they just like whatever Pan or Hyrule, they just navigate the match bad. But like the really smart players, they just navigate the match in a way that you're not having that much advantage. You're not feeling safe ever, you know.
Right. Yeah. I definitely didn't play against the guy who got third, so I definitely can't. I can't attest to the pressure you might have felt there. I totally get that. We'll bump over to the sideboard real quick. So your sideboard changed from day 1 to day 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Day two, you want the yellow sideboard?
Yeah. So it's just like I was just kind of like, you know, after Saturday, after the event, at night I was just hanging out with my girlfriend, with a couple of people, and we went out to eat.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even thinking about day 2. Like, for one, I felt really tired after that long, grueling day. You probably did too.
100%.
And like here and there, I was like, oh, what should I do tomorrow? What should I play? You know, like because you know the Demigor's secret is out. You know, like tons of Hercule showed up obviously yesterday.
And the cat's out of the bag. Yeah.
Yeah, like so, it's just I knew I was gonna be annoyed with how just how the meta would will turn out to be. So I barely like put that much time to fixing my deck, but I did just do some like right midnight or like 1 a.m. or something. So yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean the yellow, like I said before, like this deck is insane, but it actually has counterplay. So Crusher Ball answers the Demigod Secret Rare, it answers U7 Beerus, and then Battering answers Button, which is really, really solid.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, Pat's deck was obviously like probably the best, most well built. And yeah, I put the yellow in day 2, and I didn't move super combos though.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah, but it actually turned out it didn't matter because we draw so much.
Yeah.
I put in 5 yellow cards and I saw enough every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even out of 5, you can see 3. I mean, with all the 1-ofs you have the potential to see. Yeah, absolutely makes sense. So, I have your day 1 side deck in front of me.
Yep.
So Haru, did you play against much green or yellow leaders?
I played against 1 yellow leader, the U7 Frieza, that got second.
Oh, nice. Did you end up winning or losing that matchup?
So, it was on stream too, I think. So game 1, literally insta loss.
Just Victory Strike.
Yeah, he went first, and game was over in like 5 minutes. Like I just couldn't do anything. I had like 3 energy, but by the time he went for the Victory Strike, so
yeah, just if they hit double objection, it's insane.
No, I just scooped, like it was nothing. But then game 2, I put in all 4 Harus, and the card we'll be getting onto later, Focus Mind Piccolo. And I was able to win that game 2 pretty decisively, like easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to put pressure on them before they can get their Victory Strike.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you have a pretty heavy sideboard for Victory Strike as well. So dimensional banish for food, just to answer big things. You cited 2 more Miras, which did the rest of the team, did the rest of the Pat's Discord squad do that?
So I actually didn't get a chance to look at Chris' final deck, but he was mentioning it. You know, I was literally talking to him the night before the event, like trying to finalize cards, and he was like, "Yo, Mira and Double Strike is great in the mirror match." And I
Yeah,
was like,
it's like the only thing that can force damage through.
yeah, exactly. But you know, it turns out that Demigod is enough.
Yeah,
as long as you don't get like too screwed. But I never put it in. I don't think I even played the mirror in the main deck.
You played
Like,
one.
Yeah, I don't think I even like actually played it.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually allowed me to. So, me and Pat got paired up against each other. We ended up tying. We ended up drawing, but he demigrabbed me first in game 1. But I actually ripped into my Mirror Creator Absorbed and dropped it with a double strike to go for game. So it was actually a way I outplayed the secret rare. So I think
nice.
I think the card is like very, very worth its salt.
Yeah.
It's just it's a really good card, but it's also like weird in some instances.
Yeah, I found like, you know, you look at it in your hand a lot. You're looking like, oh, if I ever get this guy to 2, he's dead. You know, most of the time. So
especially if they're relying on button because they can't negate it.
Yeah. So like I don't think it's like an auto remove type of card or it's like an awful card in the deck. It's just pretty good. But side decking it like this was not a good idea.
I got you.
Wasted slots.
Did the second Shrouded ever come in?
Yes, but I didn't play it. Like I said, I definitely, you know, this the red-blue matchup, you could definitely bring it in, but I found myself just focusing extremely hard on early aggression on them, using my earlier drop over realms to, you know, like put pressure on them, keep my hand up, take out their battle cards. Yep. So yeah, and then in the mirror, you see Demigod, you're just like pitching black cards. So yeah,
absolutely. So in Triple Mafuba, this is just for like obviously Victory Strike, and then like other boss monster decks like maybe Kefla, stuff like that, huh?
Yeah. And played Soul Striker. Did you do an interview with him?
I did. Yeah, I did do it with Nick. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I brought in all 3 Mafubas against him
for like Dragon Fist and stuff.
Yeah. But main thing is Vegito. You know, Vegito's obnoxious. Actually, I don't think Dragon Fist, you don't have to worry that much, because by turn 6 you're starting to go for the kill at that point.
Yeah.
So you kind of almost can just ignore that card almost to a certain extent, unless they drop a lot of combo onto it. But it's the Vegito, the main thing. We have a, you know, obviously a hard time against Vegito.
Yeah, we can't Goku Ubid away, so it's a little bit tough to deal with. I feel that. And then we had Focus My Piccolo, just more for Victory Strike.
Yeah, that was when I was talking to Chris the night before too. I was talking to them, and you know, the people at my hotel, some of them were on Victory Strike or U7, so just, you know, huge massive hitters, and I was like, oh my god, this is awful.
Yeah.
I thought about that night. I'm like, wow, we instantly lose. Like, we could out combo it, but pretty unreasonable. But if they go first and you have 3 energy to try to out combo it. Yeah. So Brian Capola, just quick shout out to him. He told me Focus My Piccolo. I'm like, oh, I need a good card against it. They're like, Focus My Piccolo. He gave me 2 of them, and actually got me a game against U7 Frieza. Nice.
Yeah, I think if I thought about it, I think I would say that Victory Strike is probably the hardest matchup for the deck.
Yeah, by far. It literally insta lose.
Yeah, especially if you can't awaken by the time they hit their play.
Yeah,
100%. So that's mostly what I wanted to ask you about the deck profile. I mean, you definitely have a really good player, and like you just have a lot of great insight to the deck. So I really appreciate you coming on and just basically helping anyone who wants to pick up this deck basically learn kind of the ins and outs. Any final thoughts or input you want to give about the deck?
I guess one of the things I thought about a lot was Tessa's Strength Oob. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about playstyles, everyone's playstyle, and I felt like from how you guys talked, it felt like I probably was leaning heavily towards the crit trying to double strike crit really often in several matchups.
Yeah.
Because it just puts immense pressure.
Right. It didn't come up for me too much. But I can see like the plays like that you want to do it in, like putting them from 5 to 3 or 2 to 1, 3 to 1. I definitely see it. Any final shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to my team, Wise Guys, helping me practice and stuff. Pat's Discord, obviously.
Hey.
I'm a believer, 100% best deck builders in the game. Chris Welch, obviously, genius. He has like highest willpower I've ever seen. This guy, he will not put a deck down. He is relentless. Okay.
That's awesome. I'm super lucky to be on the same team as that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Danny. Thank you so much again for coming on. I appreciate it. Congratulations again on your top cut this past weekend.
You too, man.
Awesome to meet you. Glad to be moving forward with a good relationship with you going forward into the rest of the game's history. So, with that being said, this has been Joey from Crossroad TCG. Thank you for joining us, Danny Wynn, and we'll see you next time.